All right, today we're diving into one of the most baffling artifacts ever found. I mean, this is an object so advanced it just flat out shouldn't exist. It's a tech mystery that really challenges everything we thought we knew about the ancient world.
You see, it was discovered looking like a lump of junk. But inside that corroded metal was a secret that would literally rewrite human history. This one discovery sent shockwaves through archaeology, science, you name it.
So where does this unbelievable story even begin? Well, for that, we have to go back to the turn of the 20th century, deep in the Mediterranean Sea, near a little Greek island called Antikythera.
Picture this, a team of sponge divers, just doing their job, stumbles upon an ancient shipwreck. And this wasn't just any old boat. It was a Roman-era cargo ship, a treasure galley that had been sitting on the seafloor totally undisturbed for 2,000 years.
So as they're pulling up all this priceless stuff, marble statues, jewelry, coins, they also bring up this thing. A lump of green, rusted bronze so corroded it honestly looked more like a rock. It was almost thrown out, just an afterthought among all the shiny treasure.
But thankfully, it wasn't tossed aside, because as that corrosion was painstakingly cleaned away over decades, researchers started to realize they were looking at something that was, by all accounts, completely impossible.
Tucked away inside this corroded lump was something absolutely mind-blowing, a super complex system of over 30 intricate bronze gears. Some of these gears had teeth as small as a millimeter. The precision was just breathtaking, kind of like looking inside a fancy Swiss watch.
But the biggest shock of all, its age. After a ton of analysis, the mechanism was dated to be 2,000 years old. Just let that sink in for a second. That level of tiny, precise gearing wasn't supposed to exist until way, way into the modern era.
And get this wasn't just some clock or a cool toy. Nope. This was a highly sophisticated astronomical calculator. It was so well engineered that it could predict solar and lunar eclipses with incredible accuracy. We're talking down to the very hour.
So, what do you even call a device that uses physical, mechanical movement to figure out a complex problem? Like, how the entire cosmos moves. Well, today we call that an analog computer. And this thing, the Antikythera Mechanism, is officially the first known analog computer in all of human history.
So what exactly could this ancient machine do? Well, an operator could just turn a crank, and the gears would perfectly model the sun's movement, the phases of the moon, and the paths of the 5 planets you can see with the naked eye. And, like we said, it could even predict future eclipses. This thing was a portable, bronze and wood model of their entire known universe.
And the fact that this device even exists creates this huge problem, a paradox that has been stumping historians and scientists for a century.
Okay, look at this. The Antikythera Mechanism dates back to around 150 BCE. But complex geared machines, like those big astronomical clocks in European cathedrals, they don't show up in the historical record until the 14th century. That's a technology gap of more than 1,500 years. It's basically like finding a smartphone in a medieval castle. It just doesn't belong.
So this leaves us with this one monumental question. How did the ancient Greeks manage to build a computer over 1,000 years before the world was supposedly even ready for the concept?
So naturally, the next question is, who on Earth could have made this? And the investigation has led to some really fascinating theories. There are 2 main ideas floating around. The first one is the lone genius theory, right? Could this be the work of one legendary mind? Someone like Archimedes, who was famous for creating amazing mechanical devices? Or, and this one is maybe even crazier, is this the only thing left from a lost tradition? This theory suggests there was a whole school of advanced Greek engineering that we just have no record of, a body of knowledge that was then totally lost to history.
Whichever theory turns out to be true, the conclusion is pretty much the same. The very existence of the Antikythera Mechanism means our history books, well, they're incomplete.
This isn't just some quirky little discovery. This one single object forces us to completely reevaluate what we thought was possible back in the ancient world. It shows a level of technical and scientific genius that we always thought belonged to the Renaissance, not antiquity.
The mechanism proves that our ancestors weren't just farmers and soldiers, They weren't just surviving day to day. They were brilliant astronomers, mathematicians, and engineers. They were visionaries, trying to understand the cosmos and smart enough to build a machine that could actually model it.
And that just leaves us with this one final, really tantalizing thought. The Antikythera Mechanism was found by complete chance. It sat at the bottom of the sea for 2,000 years. It really makes you wonder, what other wonders, what other impossible machines from our forgotten past are still out there, just waiting to be found?